What is up, guys? Welcome to COS343 Lecture 4. Today's lecture is about a view and controller components from MVC for AngularJS. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I hope y'all get used to that. So, let's start with our Lecture 4. The first thing that we're going to study today is about view and scope from the MVC architecture for AngularJS. So we have here our single page application SPA, and then we have our MVC architecture over here. As you can see, the user uses the controller. In this case, is a JavaScript. Then the controller will change the scope. What is the scope? The scope is basically something like data or like variable of your website, and then the scope can be used to update the model, aka your data, or the view as well, aka your interface. So the JavaScript can be used to indirectly update what is shown to the user. So your interface, your view, not only shows but also provide user interactive through either input elements, aka your text box and all that, or ng-click or your button. Alright. Not that all interaction relate only to updating the value of the model through either user input or expression. So as you can see over here, how the view is updated. Conditional and loop directive updates the view based the value in the model. So technically the view only updates if the value inside the model changes. For example, over here we have our str var set our model. So this view will change only if the value over here inside your model changes. In the traditional programming that you use with something like C, C#, C++, and all that, it uses something called control floor. For example, you have this scanf, strvar, and printf, immediate effect, strvar. Control flow is sequential, unlike the web pages that uses AngularJS. Alright, for this one, it only run one time. As you can see, the text is displayed only after executing the input. So you execute this, you print the end. But AngularJS website, it changes the view based on the value inside the model again and again. So to update the view, you need to remember to link it to a model. And to update the model, you can use either HTML input such as your text box, your radio button and all that, or a controller, aka your JavaScript. So we're going to explain to you later on about this calendar that has two display options, week and months. But before that, what it says over here, we design two views. Let me show you. Right? We have two views over here for monthly, for weekly. Create a model to the view CHRDIPS. We have this. We initiate the CHRDIPS. We initiated it as weekly. Alright. To switch between week and month view, you update the value from the CHRDIPS, either by using buttons or checkbox and other input element. Let me show you how it works. Alright. So we initiated it as weekly. My calendar over here. We have my calendar. We refresh it, become weekly. So when it's initiated, it's weekly. What happens if it's weekly? Data ng if CHRDIPS weekly, it will display this div. Alright, we have here inside this div, we initiated the array of day, Monday, Tuesday, and so on. Alright, so we have a table over here. And then we have this ng repeat to display the array. How the display of array works, you remember? Alright. D in days is like representing each of this data over here. So D means like this one, this one, this one, and so on. So if we change it to O, it will display only once. Why? Because we over here, we says D that represent this, and we print it once. What if we put DO or D0, DO, save it? Nothing will work, alright? So, put back as D. Next, for our monthly view, we have a button. We created a button. So they have monthly over here. Monthly. So what happens if you click that button? CHR dips become monthly. If CHR dips is monthly, it will show this div and hide the other div. And then we have another button here called XD. We have the CHR dips XD. If we click that, it will display this div XD. Next, we'll be talking about controller. What is a controller? It provides the business logic to manage view behavior. It prepares or initializes the model for the view. It responds to user interaction. Alright, so you need to note that controller should not manipulate the model directly. Okay, what we have here, the template for controller. So inside your HTML file, you need to have this data ng app, my app, and then the body and so on. And inside your JavaScript, you're going to have this. You need to declare the module for my app, which need to be defined inside your HTML tag, and the other controller part of it. Multiple of this controller can be declared inside one module. Alright. Okay, it says over here, placement of ng controller affect the access of the scope. Properties and method in this example, str var1 is not accessible by my controller because it's outside the div of my control. Alright. What if you put the my control inside the body text? Basically, my control can access all of the scope inside the body of your HTML. Let me show you the example for that. Let's see what do we have here. So we have our declaration of module inside your HTML, right? My app, and then we have our JavaScript, Angular.module, my app, and then our controller, my control. So I put my control inside the body so I can access the scope inside the body of my HTML. And to ensure that this HTML document knows what JavaScript I'm using, I have to link the script inside the HTML file, inside your body tag. In this one, we uses one controller. Alright, for the first part of this, we have our strvar. We declared a model called strvar over here, and then we display the strvar over here, right, at the strvar equal to something. Right, so where does the sample come from? Alright, so basically your scope says the strvar is equal to sample, and another one we have is another var equal to 0. We have our another var over here. Why this one is 1? Because the script says scope watch strvar function new value old value. This is a function in AngularJS, in your AngularJS, to see the changes in strvar from the new value to old value. If there's any changes, we show here another var plus 1. So for example, if you choose this to -1, it will show 0. Alright, so every time that you change over here, change anything inside this text box, which is your strvar, it will plus 1 another var variable over there. See, delete. Alright, so that's the first part for your strvar. Alright, so the second one, we have our numvar. We have our numvar over here. Where does this numvar come from? It was declared inside your JavaScript. Scope.numVar equal to 0. So upon display, your numVar is equal to 0. So the second one, we have our isNumEven over here. It acts as a function. As you can see, it's connected to your JavaScript over here. Scope.isNumEven function. So what does this function do? It returns the value of true or false, whether the numVar over here is even number or not. So basically, if it's even number, it will say true. Alright, now I'm going to show you how to use the controller to manipulate the scope. Alright, as you can see, we have our text box over here called model called SumNum. And then when click, SumNum will be sent inside this add value, which is over here. Alright, so for add value, just now, we are grabbing the function SumNum over here. We're grabbing this value. Alright. We add it to the numVar. So basically, whatever you type here, for example, 2, add, it will say numVar value equal to 2. Right? What if we add another 1? So the numVar is even, will says it is false. Alright, so that's how we manipulate the scope data. We can also use this only a button click as your controller. For this, we have our increase by 1 over here. So every time I click that button, it will run is this incNum function. What does it do? The incNum function is doing numVar plus 1. So plus 1, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. So what happened inside this program? First thing first, it will say print the numVar value, which is from the JavaScript. Your numVar value is 0. So now it asks you to run a function is numEven. The function is over here to calculate if the numVar just now is even or not. In this case, if it's 0, it's not even. If it's not even, it will display over here. To make things simpler, I'm going to show you this one first, incNum. So every time I click incNum, it will call this function and it's add 1 to the numVar variable. So once I click once, this isNumEven will keep updated to see whether the number is even or not. And for the add function, basically we have a text box that have SumNum as the number that you key inside. And then once you click add, it will send the SumNum, the ones inside here, to the value, add value, which is over here. Okay, it called the SumNum just now. You can use any name for this. And then numVar equal to the numVar plus the value that you included inside this text box. Alright, what's next? Controller execution. So the script, your JavaScript, is executed only once when it's loaded. So what it means is, once you loaded your website without refreshing it, if you change any of the stuff inside your JavaScript, it will not change what your view of the website is. Alright, so the more method or like the more statement you have inside your JavaScript, it will increase your loading time. So you need to remember that. So we have two ways how to use our scope. Is either using properties or method. What is properties? Properties is basically putting the value inside your model name or a variable. Alright, method is basically calling a function for your variable. For example, this one just now, this one is the method type. And declaring like this is what they call properties type. Alright, so the property just now, we are assigning the numVar equal to 0. And then the method is like, we have the add value method that you can add number inside the numVar. So that's all for my demonstration for lecture 4. I will upload this code inside Canvas. You can try it later on. There's few examples here that you can try and experiment by yourself. Alright? Hopefully this short lecture will help you to do your weekly tasks. Good luck to everyone and do your best. So, thank you for viewing today's lecture. I hope you're all doing well during this quarantine time. Don't forget to like this video if you like it, leave a comment down below, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Catch you all next time.